My cousin was a pitcher on that curve, he got that scholarship. On campus, he's the man, throwing heat as he was hot as shit. But then he hurt his arm. Senior year's time to prove it. Started taking painkillers so he could play and keep it moving. Scouts watching, couldn't lose him, so he took more and he kept using. For he knew it, he's abusing fastballs and two seams. Too clean, but now he's losing weight. Drug test, he failed, so they kicked him off the team. He tried to kick the habit, but he's mad that he had lost his dreams. He's sad, but he got off the lane.
J.COLE has finally responded. What's going on, YouTube? It's Knox Hill, and we're back with the reaction series. So today, man, I tell you what, you can't plan a week out. You can't plan a week out. I'm getting ready to go back, spend time with my moms. I got a new music video dropping that I keep pushing back because this is just a momentous occasion in hip-hop. This is something that we can't ignore. I've got to break this one down. I'm well aware of the mission today. We got brand new J.COLE. You guys are saying he responds to Kendrick Lamar. He responds to the apology. So this right here, right now, is none other than Port Antonio. But before I get any further, listen, if you like that song, the intro, I have a brand new album, Chaos Theory 2, that is out right now. Killing it on all streaming platforms, dropping it independently. Couldn't be happier with the response. We got some amazing ass features on it. If you like that song, if you want to check it out and support me, I'll put all links down there. But anyways, know what we're here for. J.COLE, step back up to the plate. Let's see what you got. One. What's that sample singing? Even if you don't love yourself. It's kind of wild. It sounds like the old buffering internet days when we had dial-up, right? Just the way that sample's cutting through. It's not the highest of quality, but I wonder if that's done on purpose just to give it like that raw feel. Track is called Port Antonio. Looks like we're out in Port Antonio at night. That's Jamaica, baby. Come on.
Young Jermaine walked the straight and narrow. Minimum wage jobs for the narrow, but still my mind was on the zeros. I fiend for the perks that was seen flipping birds, so we was skipping church, but my eyes was on the sparrows. Niggas flipping pies, spending thousands on a payroll. Shit, I wanna shine too. I want dimes too. Jealous niggas wanna know just how my rhymes blew. Mono we mono, I'm Bono, I'm you times two. Now I'm bougie, I done outgrew the fountain blue, but never forgot the spot where I developed my plot. To dwell at the top, the veil where all my skeletons lock. If I could do it all over, then I never would swap. I seen good, I seen bad, had my
the rhyme schemes, man, on this are dope.
I seen lifelong, I never would swap. I seen good, I seen bad, had my melanin mocked. I seen lifelong friends turn to devilish ops. I was Mike in red leather trying to tell him to stop. You better beat it for you see that heavy metal get popped. He was a mean ass wing with a hell of a shot, but if no team draft king, he gon' bet on the block. He wanna ball till he fall until the federals knock, and sit his ass on the bench for moving careless with rock. You can't relate unless your father was not around, and your mother went out and found someone else and then brought him round, and they salaries didn't combine when they married and brought you out of that
man,
poverty.
that flow.
You moved to a soft little part of town, so that when you back in the hood, you feel awkward about it now. Then your confidence start to drown, but the rapping gave you some positive thoughts, so you jot them down. Woo. You jot them down. Ride to it, ride to it, ride to it, ride to it.
I'll tell you what, ride to it. Ride to it. You talk about just being lulled into a false sense of security. Obviously, the way that this has been pitched, right? It sounds almost like a child's voice. It's higher pitched, but it could even be a male voice that's just been run through a pitch shifter on the sample, right? I don't know what that sample is. Somebody knows it, comment down below. But it just, with that piano, you just kind of get entranced. And this is what Cole does, right? And then he starts to just smoothly ride these beats. But then once he starts lacing in these multi-syllable rhyme schemes and these intricate bars, and then these just flows that just drip on the track, like it's almost like you don't see it coming. And then before you know it, the train's already hit you. Let's bring it back and break down some of these bars right now, because he was talking. He was talking on this verse.
Ride to it, ride to it, ride to it. Young Jermaine walked the straight and narrow. Minimum wage jobs for the narrow, but still my mind was on the zeros.
Minimum wage jobs for dinero, right? Dropping Spanish for the money. But my mind was always on the zeros. So feeling like a zero, and he kind of flips like being paid zeros, but in this case, he's trying to stack those zeros, right? He's trying to get higher wages.
And narrow, minimum wage jobs for the narrow, but still my mind was on the zeros. I fiend for the perks that was seen flipping birds, so we was skipping church, but my eyes was on the sparrows.
Fiend for the perks, seen flipping birds. I fiend for those perks, right? The rises, the highs, the perks of dealing drugs. But he was on the straight and narrow. So that's how he sets it up, right? I was working minimum wage, right? But I always was trying to make more money. I was trying to climb. I was trying to get it. But at the same time, there's an easy lifestyle over here that I witness, that I see with them flipping birds, right? With them selling cocaine and all of that. And then he's got a ridiculous flipping birds into Eye of the Sparrow scheme, which ties in religious imagery. Let's go here.
That was seen flipping birds, so.
But also fiend for the perks. Like, because you have a fiend who's fiending, a drug fiend on Percocet, fiending for the perks in that sense, but then he flips it like the perks, the benefits as well.
But still my mind was on the zeros. I fiend for the perks that was seen flipping birds, so we was skipping church, but my eyes was on the sparrows.
We was skipping church, but my eyes was on the sparrows. So even though I didn't go to church much, I still had my eyes on the sparrow. And the sparrow is important religious symbolism, because a sparrow, where he takes the birds, flipping birds, like nobody really cares about sparrows, right? But it's used in religion and Christianity to show that God loves all of his creatures. God loves everyone and everything, right? Even the sparrows. So the sparrows are a symbol of God's love. So for J. Cole, he keeps his eye on the sparrows. He keeps his eye on God's love. Even though he never went to church, he still knows his own spirituality. But also, he's got his eyes on everyone. I take that as the ones who are lower, the ones who are looked down upon, his fellow sparrows.
Perks that was seen flipping birds, so we was skipping church, but my eyes was on the sparrows. Niggas flipping pies, spending thousands on apparel. Shit, I wanna shine too.
Sparrows, apparel. Just love the way that he fits apparel into the sparrows line.
On the sparrows, niggas flipping pies, spending thousands on apparel. Shit, I wanna shine too. I want dimes too. Jealous niggas wanna know just how my rhymes blew. Mono we mono, I'm bono, I'm you times two. Now
how my rhymes blew, right? Like blowing it up your nose ties into me with the drug schemes he was talking about earlier and flipping birds and all of that. But then also like he blew up, right?
Just how my rhymes blew. Mono we mono, I'm bono, I'm you times two.
Mono we mono, man to man, I'm you times two. Bono, frontman 4, famous band U2. So I'm you, Y-O-U times 2 versus shouting out Bono with the band U2. That's a smooth flip.
Wanna know just how my rhymes blew. Mono we mono, I'm bono, I'm you times 2. Now I'm bougie, I done outgrew the fountain blue, but never forgot the spot where I developed my plot to dwell at the top.
Never forgot the spot where I developed my plot. Dwell at the top. Skeletons. Like he dives into this just drippy multi-syllable rhyme scheme right here. But obviously like going from the blue, like he's living a life of luxury now, but he still hasn't forgotten where he came from. So he paints his picture for us, right? This narration. It's a little bit of storytelling as an MC. Like this is where I'm from. I saw this lifestyle. I saw the shortcuts to get it. I never took those shortcuts, but now I have this lifestyle that I always dreamed of, that I always wanted to obtain. And it's funny now because I never forget where I came from, and I still hold on to those humble roots and beginnings.
Blue, mono we mono, I'm bono, I'm you times 2. Now I'm bougie, I done outgrew the fountain blue, but never forgot the spot where I developed my plot to dwell at the top, the veil where all my skeletons locked. If I could do it all over, then I never would swap. I seen good, I seen bad, had my melanin mocked. I seen lifelong friends turn to devilish ops. I was
lifelong friends turn to devilish ops. Getting betrayed by friends. Fame is a funny bitch sometimes. But then before that, melanin mocked. Isn't it funny? Melanin levels were brought into the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, right? And a lot of the accusations made against Drake, some people were pointing out like, Kendrick, couldn't you say those same things about J.COLE, right? If we're talking about who his mother and who his father were, right? Being half black and half white, having his melanin mocked because he's more light-skinned in the game and within the culture.
Skeletons locked. If I could do it all over, then I never would swap. I seen good, I seen bad, had my melanin mocked. I seen lifelong friends turn to devilish ops. I was Mike in red leather trying to tell him to stop. You better beat it for you see that heavy metal get popped.
I was Mike in red leather trying to tell him to stop. You better beat it. Michael Jackson in red leather wore a red leather jacket, that famous jacket he wore, and beat it. But also, this makes me think of first-person shooter, when Drake is shouting out being one away from Mike and has all the Michael Jackson and the red leather jacket and the glove references within that video. So for me, it goes layered there because J. Cole's talking about his upbringings and where he's from and the violence that he sees, trying to tell him to stop, trying to stop the violence. But I wonder if that's also an allusion and a reference to the violence that we just saw amongst the big three between Drake and Kendrick and trying to tell him to stop, to beat it, to just leave it. Because the theme of Michael Jackson's song Beat It is to walk away from the fight. Like, just beat it. You don't have to prove it every time, right? Hold on to your life. Hold on to your credibility. Sometimes it's better to walk away and to beat it. So it's interesting that he's using Michael Jackson Beat It lines. But for me, if you look at the meaning of that song, there's deeper layers to what Cole's trying to say here.
I had my melanin mocked. I seen lifelong friends turn to devilish ops. I was Mike in red leather trying to tell him to stop. You better beat it before you see that heavy metal get popped. He was a me.
And obviously heavy metal get popped. Michael Jackson, king of pop, versus heavy metal genre to pop genre to heavy metal gun bars popping on you.
Trying to tell him to stop. You better beat it before you see that heavy metal get popped. He was a mean ass wing with a hell of a shot. But if no team draft king, he gon' bet on the block. He wanna
mean ass wing with a hell of a shot, right? Like you're a winger in basketball, you got a great shot off to the side versus like a shot coming from the streets. And then he takes that, drafting king of pop, Michael Jackson, drafting being a king if they don't draft king to the block, because he flips the block back to the streets, but then also the gambling site where you can play daily fantasy, draft kings, and draft your team each week.
Swing with a hell of a shot.
It's a dope bar right here.
But if no team draft king, he gon' bet on the block.
If your team draft king, he gonna bet on the block, right? Because you bet on different, you fill your blocks, you fill your players for your draft. Whether you're playing basketball, you got to draft a point guard, shooting guard, forwards, your wings and all that, or even football, whatever you want to play on DraftKings, right? So the betting ties in with that in the DraftKings bar versus betting in the streets.
Swing with a hell of a shot, but if no team draft king, he gon' bet on the block. He wanna ball till he fall until the Federals knock and sit.
Right. Bet on the block. He gonna ball till he fall. That's so dope how he continues to carry and like spider web that scheme, right? Because you need to ball, right? Flash your wealth, your material things, versus literally playing basketball and balling into different sides.
He was a mean ass wing with a.
And then obviously the block, like the street corner, versus like blocking shots in basketball or being down in the lane, down in the blocks. Basketball schemes as well into street schemes is dope, man.
Shot, but if no team draft king, he gon' bet on the block. He wanna ball till he fall until the Federals knock and sit his ass on the bench for moving careless with rock. You can't.
And he goes even further, careless with rock. You know, like pass me the rock in basketball. He's still carrying this basketball scheme. Sit his ass on the bench. When you're not playing, you're not starting, you're on the bench. Versus the feds want to put his ass on the bench, meaning a bench in a jail cell for selling the rock, for selling cocaine and crack, flipping the rocks and the drug schemes and all that. Come on.
Fall until the Federals knock and sit his ass on the bench for moving careless with rock. You can't relate unless your father was not around and your mother went out and found someone else and then brought around and they.
Father was not around, someone else and brought him round. Da 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 da. See the cadence, how he kind of comes up a little bit in the rhyme scheme, then he drops back down with it, and it's another smooth multi-syllable scheme, a very staccato delivery here. Da 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 da.
Relate unless your father was not around and your mother went out and found someone else and then brought around, and they salaries didn't combine when they married and brought you out of that poverty. Then you moved to a soft little part of town, so that when you back in the hood, you feel awkward about it now.
And Cole right there just talking about his story, right? Dad wasn't around. We were below the poverty line. Then mom met someone new. And yeah, I did get moved to a soft part of town, right? I got moved to a nicer part of town. I didn't have to struggle as much. But I still never forgot that struggle and never forgot the world around me. And I use rap as my outlet and my way of coming up, my way of MCing.
So that when you back in the hood, you feel awkward about it now. Then your confidence start to drown. But the rapping gave you some positive thoughts, so you jot them down. Jot him down. Ride to it, ride to it, ride to it, ride to it.
Yeah, that's an MC's verse right there. That's just like a first-person narrative. Here's a little bit of autobiographical information on my life, my come up, and like some of the things that I stand for and some of the things I've seen. That was dope.
Ride to it, ride to it, ride to it, ride to it. Y'all niggas ain't stopping me. 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 Yeah. Benjamin Button, cold flows, reverse time. To find deliveries good as mine, you gotta search primes. I'm scaling heights higher than birds can perch, trying to be something, hoping that peace comes to my cursed mind. One thing's for sure, that I've matured from my first rhyme. I learned long ago, you can't please them all and it hurts trying. In this game where all you've got is your name, like Dirk, I'm smirking at niggas trying to besmirch mine. Absurd times, where the fake get told it is wise. I can see hate in both of your eyes, but the third's blind. So you search lines, but you struggle, which explains the puzzled look on the dull faces the word finds. I hate when raps become but like do not disturb signs. Can't knock it if I see it's about to do. They instigate the fuckery because it's profitable. But singing stop the violence tunes with dudes in hospitals. I pulled the plug because I seen where that was about to go. They wanted blood, they wanted clicks to make their pockets grow. They see this fire in my pen and think I'm dodging smoke. I wouldn't have lost the battle dog, I would have lost the bro. I would've gained a foe, and all for what? Just to attain some old props from strangers that don't got a clue what I've been aiming for since the age of 14.
He's talking to Kendrick there. He's addressing the Kendrick beef, isn't he?
I lost the battle dog, I would've lost the bro. I would've gained a
right
foe,
there.
And all for what? Just to attain some old props from strangers that don't got a...
Now he's finally addressed. We've been waiting for this moment. Hang on, I gotta let it play more.
Do what I've been aiming for since the age of 14. Jermaine is no king if that means I gotta dig up dirt and pay the whole team of algorithm bot niggas just to sway the whole thing on social media. Competing for your favorable memes to be considered best to live and rest. The weight of both things. I understand the thirst of being first that made them both swing, protecting legacies. So lines got crossed, perhaps regrettably. My friends went to war, I walked away with all they blood on me. Now some will discredit me, try wipe away my pedigree, but please. Find a nigga out that's rapping this incredibly. My dog texted me, I share the words he said to me. If you refuse to shoot the gun, don't mean the gun ain't deadly. I guess in that metaphor, hypothetically, the gun is me. I texted back like, guess a gun ain't what I'm trying to be, my nigga. They stripped me on my spot and now I'm finally free, my nigga. They say I'm picking sides, they don't you lie on me, my nigga. To start another war, hey Drake, you'll always be my nigga. I ain't ashamed to say you did a lot for me, my nigga.
Wow.
Fuck all the narratives. Tapping back into your magic pen is what's imperative. Reminding these folks why we do it. It's not for beefing, it's for speaking our thoughts, pushing ourselves, reaching the charts, reaching your minds, deep in your hearts, creeping to find emotions to touch, something inside to open you up, help you cope with the rough times and shit. I'm sending love cause we ain't prime and shit. My nigga, y'all niggas ain't
wow.
Yeah. Y'all niggas ain't stopping.
I mean, what more do you want? What more do you want? This is what an MC does, right? He doesn't need to do an interview. He doesn't need to make a bunch of tweets about a situation. Cole's been quiet for a long time since he made the apology. Well, this is his way now of dealing with the backlash of that apology and really explaining properly his thought process and what went into it. And for me, finding that resolution to this situation and having closure on it through his pen and through doing what he does best, getting on a track and just letting the thoughts and the emotions flow. And now we got to break this down. Wow.
Smirking at, I'm scaling heights high, reverse time. Yeah. Benjamin Button, cold flows, reverse time.
Obviously, the movie Benjamin Button, he starts aging backwards. Brad Pitt movie versus Cole is reversing time. We get that bar.
Yeah. Benjamin Button, cold flows, reverse time. To find deliveries good at.
Even cold flows, reverse time. You could take it as Cole, J.COLE versus his cold flows are reversing time, like cryogenically freezing them.
Benjamin Button, cold flows, reverse time. To find deliveries good as mine, you gotta search primes.
To find deliveries good as mine, you gotta search primes. Amazon Prime delivery bars. You want that next day delivery, sign up for Prime. Or search primes. Search for Cole at his prime. Or search for prime numbers, right? A prime number is any whole number greater than 1, not divisible by anything other than itself in terms of whole numbers, right? Like the number 2 or the number 3. Or the number 5, and so on and so on. But the greater you go with primes, it gets harder and harder to find prime numbers and to search them out. J. Cole giving us those mathematical bar breakdowns flipped with Amazon. Jeff Bezos will be proud of this one. Come on.
Reverse time. To find deliveries good as mine, you gotta search primes.
So obviously Amazon Prime delivery versus his delivery on the tracks and what we deliver as MCs.
Cold flows, reverse time. To find deliveries good as mine, you gotta search primes. I'm scaling heights higher than birds can perch.
Or even search primes could be not just prime numbers, but, you know, like alpha prime or like stars in the sky, different primes in the sky. Like, you got to search outer space for this, man. Alien flows.
Deliveries good as mine, you got to search primes. I'm scaling heights higher than birds can perch, trying to be something, hoping that peace comes to my cursed mind. One thing's for sure, that I've matured from my first rhyme. I learned long ago.
Cursed mind, mature rhymes. Just, he's lining these 2-syllable schemes, but what he's really doing is, even though he's got a simple 2-syllable end rhyme, he's punching in a lot of internal condensed schemes, right?
Comes to my cursed mind. One thing's for sure, that I've matured from my first rhyme.
Sure, matured, first rhyme. Back out to the externals.
Long ago, you can't please them all, and it hurts trying. In this game where all you've got is your name, like dirt.
I can't please them all, and it hurts trying. And I get that. That's something I've learned over time. Like, every time you turn around and do something, there's always a critic of it. It's like, well, you should have done this. So then you turn around and you do that, and then someone else has something else to say about it. And then if you just get into that game of cat and mouse with critics, with haters, with social media trolls, you're never going to be fulfilled. You're never going to be happy. At the end of the day, the greatest advice that I can give to my fellow artists out there is just focus on your art. Don't worry about all the noise and everything going on around. Focus on your creation and your process, and don't let that filter into your process and take away from what you're doing. Never try to do something just because you're worried about how it's going to be perceived or how people are going to take it. Just stay true to your art and just let that process flow, right? And always stick to it. And Cole's preaching here, and he's giving that knowledge that he does and that wisdom for those who are listening.
Peace comes to my cursed mind. One thing's for sure, that I've matured from my first rhyme. I learned long ago, you can't please them all, and it hurts trying. In this game where all you've got is your name, like dirt, I'm smirking at
Game, name, see the internals again, and then he's back to the Dirk, I'm. So he goes back to the external schemes. Then obviously Lil Durk, he's been on a track with all my life. That's another dope feature. All Cole does is dope features, but he's gone to court. He's had lawsuits against him. He's had a lot of social media hate. A lot of people have come after Durk, but I also take it as game to Durk. And I'm just thinking with the basketball schemes and J.COLE being, you know, used to play pro as well. J.COLE was a dope baller. Dirk Nowitzki as well. Could be.
and it hurts trying. In this game where all you've got is your name, like dirt, I'm smirking at niggas trying to besmirch mine. Absurd times with a fake get told it.
That's clever right there. I just love the wordsmithing of that. I'm smirking at them trying to besmirch mine. You know, when you besmirch, like you're smirking at someone, but they're trying to besmirch his name, trying to put a smudge on it, trying to put an asterisk next to what he does.
I'm smirking at niggas trying to besmirch mine. Absurd times with a fake get told it is wise. I can see hate in both of your eyes, but the third's blind. So you search.
I can see hate in both of your eyes, but the third's blind. Used to be a band, Third Eye Blind, but then also, like, your third eye is blind. You have no metaphysical presence. You have no spirituality, right? You're not seeing things on a deeper level. You're surface to me with the 2-eye scheme that he's saying here.
Get told it is wise. I can see hate in both of your eyes, but the third's blind. So you search lines, but you struggle, which explains the puzzled look on the dull faces the word finds. I hate when rap.
The puzzle look on the dull faces as a word finds, right? It's like you're doing a crossword puzzle and you can't figure it out. He's saying you got low IQ, right? You got to be a thinker. You got to be intelligent to catch these bars and to catch what I'm doing because I'm layering. I'm stacking doubles and triples. I'm stacking thoughtful lyrics into it. This is what substance looks like. Better open up your third eye when you listen to J. Cole. He's shouting out the haters and the critics, but listen, we are a bar breakdown channel. We're over here trying to help people appreciate what he does.
But you struggle, which explains the puzzled look on the dull faces the word finds. I hate when raps become, but like do not.
And even the puzzled faces. You know, when you're doing a crossword puzzle versus you have a puzzled look on your face, that's another double right there.
Explains the puzzled look on the dull faces the word finds. I hate when raps become, but like do not disturb signs. Can't knock it if I see it's about the dough. They instigate the
do not disturb. Well, if it's do not disturb, you can't knock on it. If it's about the dough, the way he says dough makes it sound like it's a slant rhyme for door, right? Don't knock on the door. Do not disturb signs. But I am not allowed to knock these other rappers' lyrics if I see that it's just about the dough, because that's all it is a cash grab for them. That's what they're trying to do, is just go get that money. Can you knock it?
Come, but like do not disturb signs. Can't knock it if I see it's about the dough. They instigate the fuckery because it's profitable. But singing stop the violence tunes with dudes in hospitals. I pulled the plug.
They instigate the fuckery. And then they start singing stop the violence tunes in hospital. Like, y'all want the beef, y'all want the drama. Why? Because it's profitable. Because it makes money, it makes clicks. This is him talking directly and setting the stage for what he's about to say regarding the Drake and Kendrick drama, the Big Three drama, and why he apologized. Right here, listen to what he's saying.
Because it's profitable, but singing stop the violence tunes with dudes in hospitals.
He's pointing out the hypocrites and the irony, right? Y'all want war. Y'all want this beef and controversy because it gets clicks. Everybody loves the drama, but then there's fallout from it. I mean, look at how deep and dirty this Drake and Kendrick beef got. But there's a number of beefs, Pac and Biggie. There's plenty of feuds that you've seen throughout rap that have ended in the streets, that have ended in violence. And J. Cole knows where these things can possibly go. And think about the first verse. Think about what he's talking about, right? How he saw this violent world around him, how he saw the drug use. He saw shortcuts to getting the fame, to getting the money that he wanted and the lifestyle that he wanted, but he never took those shortcuts. So why now do you think that he is going to take those shortcuts within rap, within hip hop, and use these beefs for fame? If he didn't do it this way growing up when he was way more desperate, why would he do it now? And that's why that first verse is so important, because it sets up his values, it sets up his standards. And then he takes that and that base layer to explain why he's moving the way that he's moving in this second verse and why he apologized to Kendrick. You really got to listen to the mastery of which he set this up and how he's following through just this logic right now.
Raps become but like do not disturb signs. Can't knock it if I see it's about to do. They instigate the fuckery because it's profitable. But singing stop the violence tunes with dudes in hospitals. I pulled the plug because I seen where that was about to go.
I pulled the plug. You know, you pull the plug in the hospital, so he's tying in with that, with the lifeline, with the violence bars, being in hospital, versus he pulled the plug on this Kendrick beef and situation, and that's why he apologized.
The violence tunes with dudes in hospitals. I pulled the plug because I seen where that was about to go. They wanted blood, they wanted clicks to make their pockets grow.
That's
they
it.
See this fire in my pen and think I'm dodging smoke. I wouldn't have lost the battle, dog. I would have lost the bro.
I went and lost the battle. I would have lost the bro. Because yeah, I would have made an enemy for life out of Kendrick. Why would I want that? Because he is my bro. We've collaborated and worked together a lot more than we've gone after each other, than we've clashed. He's explaining why the apology happened. Pay attention.
Where that was about to go. They wanted blood, they wanted clicks to make their pockets grow. They see this fire in my pen and think I'm dodging smoke.
And then see this fire in my pen and think I'm dodging smoke. I love how ironic that is, right? Because there's no smoke without fire. How can I have fire over here and you're saying that I'm dodging smoke and that I'm afraid of it? Because you see me year after year, feature after feature after feature. And for me, there's no one more competitive than J. Cole, right? J. Cole came up as an athlete. He understands what it means to compete. He is a competitor. Don't get this twisted. Just because he chooses the path of peace doesn't mean he's not competing. Why do you think he washes each and every feature that he gets on? Because he wants to show that he is the best. So his way of competing is through friendly competition and through that community spirit of let's get on a track together and really show who's the best. Now let's dig up dirt. Let's go after each other. Let's try to besmirch each other's names and lower just how people view us. No. Let's lift each other up, but let's prove who the better MC is by being on the exact same track, on the exact same beat, and let the fans judge who did it better. That's J. Cole's way.
I wouldn't have lost the battle, dog. I would have lost the bro. I would have gained a foe. And all for what? Just to attain some old props from strangers that don't got a clue what I've been aiming for since the age of 14. Jermaine is no king if that means I gotta dig up dirt and pay the whole team of algorithm bot niggas just to sway the whole thing on social media.
That's it. I'm no king. And this is him going back to being humble. Since 14, I've accepted, right? I'm not trying to be a king. You don't understand what my goals are, right? I don't care about you saying that I'm number one. I don't care about that. I don't care what the critics have to say. I don't care what the social media warriors have to say because I've never been in it for that. That's not the game that I'm playing. That's not what I stand for as an MC. That's not my love of hip hop.
Pay the whole team of algorithm bot niggas just to sway the whole thing on social.
And this is interesting because this also alludes to the beef because remember the allegations on both sides that both sides were using bots and you see it, the dead internet theory. Like there's so many bots that exist now and propaganda is all around us and so much disinformation. Like you can go on the Drake or Kendrick disses and you could see a number of the comments and I could tell you which ones are bots. But there's so many bots that exist now. Even governments use bots. In the election, bot comments are everywhere. You don't even know if you're speaking to a real person anymore. And J. Cole's speaking on this and botting for streams and all of that. And he's like, yeah, I could have played that game, but I didn't. I didn't want to get my hands dirty in this ring because that's not what I stand for. That's not how I move.
Got a clue what
I understand what it takes to win. If I would have entered into this beef, I would have had to do all of these other things just to consider me a victor now, just to get people to say that I won. I would have had to really get dirty and play these games. And I don't want to do it.
Would have gained a phone and all for what? Just to attain some old props from strangers that don't got
And why pay people to dig up dirt on someone else? That's not the time that I'm on. That's not the energy that I'm
clue
on.
what I've been aiming for since the age of 14. Jermaine is no king if that means I gotta dig up dirt and pay the whole team of algorithm bot niggas just to sway the whole thing on social media. Competing for your favorable memes to be considered best to live and rest. The weight of both things. I understand the thirst of being first that made them both swing, protecting legacies.
I understand the thirst of being first that made them both swing, right? Because they wanted to be considered number one. I get that. Because I feel the same way too, and that's why they swung on each other. But hang on.
The weight of both things. I understand the thirst of being first that made them both swing, protecting legacies. So lines got crossed, perhaps regrettably. My friends went to war, I walked away with all their blood on me. Now some...
That's very interesting right there. My friends went to war. I walked away with all their blood on me. Because some people said I was on Drake's side. Some people said I was on Kendrick's side. People say this, people say that about me. All because I walked away because I didn't want to get involved in this situation. But I get why. Because they were worried about legacy and trying to be number one. And I get it. He shows that empathy. But he also gives you his side and his perspective. Camera's about to die. Wow, strap in. This is a wild one. Let's keep it rolling.
Both things. I understand the thirst of being first that made them both swing, protecting legacies. So lines got crossed, perhaps regrettably. My friends went to war, I walked away with all their blood on me. Now some will discredit me, try wipe away my pedigree, but please find a nigga out that's rapping this incredibly. My dog texted me, I shared a word.
It's true. How many people after this come out after Cole's apology and said, well, Cole fired a diss, then he backed out. He can't be considered the big three anymore. Everything that he's rapping about and that he's talking about, we don't believe him anymore. We don't believe his credibility. We're questioning his pedigree here.
He said to me, if you refuse to shoot the gun, don't mean the gun ain't deadly. I guess in that metaphor, hypothetically, the gun is me. I texted back like, guess a gun ain't what I'm trying to be, my nigga. They stripped me of my...
I'm not trying to be the gun. I'm not trying to be this lyrical weapon, right? And it aligns with his values. Remember his commenting on the street violence that he's seen and how he never chose that lifestyle. He stayed on the straight and narrow. Well, he's not choosing this lifestyle now within rap. And he understands, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man, how you doing?
The gun is me. I texted back like, guess a gun ain't what I'm trying to be, my nigga. They stripped me of my spot and now I'm finally free, my nigga. They say I'm picking sides, they don't shoot.
That is the most powerful line for me. They stripped me of my spot and I'm finally free. They stopped talking about me as being number one or even being in the big three conversation. Now I'm free because now I can really just focus on my art and do what I want to do. And I don't have people judging me and ranking this and doing that because, yeah, it puts a scope on you and it puts you in a different perspective. It puts a different pressure, a different stress, a different level on you. And maybe it does affect your art because you're always worried about being considered number one instead of just focusing on your craft and getting lost in the music that you're making and what matters.
Before hypothetically, the gun is me. I texted back like, guess a gun ain't what I'm trying to be, my nigga. They stripped me of my spot and now I'm finally free, my nigga. They say I'm picking sides, they don't you lie on me, my nigga. To start another war, hey Drake, you'll always be my nigga. I ain't...
They say I'm picking sides. I'm gonna set the record straight. Don't lie on me. I'm not picking sides. Drake, I'm gonna give you love. I'm gonna give you a shout out. Thank you for everything that you've done to set me up. I appreciate you for that. Come on.
Don't you lie on me, my nigga. To start another war, hey Drake, you'll always be my nigga. I ain't ashamed to say you did a lot for me, my nigga.
Wow.
Fuck all the narratives. Tapping back into your magic pen is what's imperative. Reminding...
Fuck all the narratives. And you know what's funny is J.COLE is not listening to the narratives because right now, it doesn't take a genie on a bottle to tell you that Kendrick Lamar is who's favorite in the culture right now. So this is really interesting to me that instead of name dropping Kendrick, because we know he's talking about Kendrick in the apology and he calls Kendrick his friend, right? He does that, but he doesn't name drop Kendrick. The one person he name drops is Drake, and he shows solidarity to Drake as well. When Drake is getting all this heat, when it's very unpopular to back Drake, to show Drake any type of love or any type of nod. J. Cole showing yet again that he moves to his own drum. And he's not afraid to go against the grain. This is real MC shit right here.
Another war, hey Drake, you'll always be my nigga. I ain't ashamed to say you did a lot for me, my nigga. Fuck all the narrative.
I ain't ashamed to say you did a lot for me. And I wonder if that's subtly thrown sideways at other people, right? Who Drake has done a lot for, and yet they've turned on him. Interesting.
Be my nigga. I ain't ashamed to say you did a lot for me, my nigga. Fuck all the narratives. Tapping back into your magic pen is what's imperative. Reminding these folks.
Into your magic pen is what's imperative. I just love the way he just punches those P's in, man. Like, even the engineers are like, nah, we're gonna leave that. We don't care if there's a little vocal crack on that. You just feel that passion within that delivery.
Fuck all the narratives. Tapping back into your magic pen is what's imperative. Reminding these folks why we do it. It's not for beefing, it's for speaking our thoughts, pushing ourselves, reaching the charts, reaching your minds, deep in your hearts, creeping to find emotions to touch, something inside to open you up, help you cope with the rough times and shit. I'm sending love cause we ain't prime and shit. My nigga, y'all niggas ain't.
That's it right there. He just tells you why he does it, right? He pushes himself to get to the top of the charts, right? Pushes his mind, trying to touch hearts, trying to give people something to cope with in the tough times. That is really why he's here and why MCs are here and why the music is made. What a beautiful track, man.
Yeah.
Just real talk, real shit, just straight from the soul from J.COLE.
Y'all niggas ain't stopping me. Y'all niggas ain't stopping me. Y'all niggas ain't stopping me. Y'all niggas ain't stopping me.
And now after that second verse, that takes a new connotation for me. Y'all ain't stopping me. Those who said that I'm done, that my career is cooked, this is for you. This is the response we've been waiting for. And Cole took his time on it, but why not as Cole? Because when he drops, the world listens. I mean, the greater message there is, don't focus on the drama and the clicks and the chatter. Look past that and think about truly why we're here and why we started making the music that we made and why we're still doing it today. This is a great just grasp of self-awareness, of narration, of MCing from how he started, how he came up, his values, why he moves the way he moves, and how he's going to keep doing it moving forward, man. That just had everything for me. It had flows, had delivery, had a cold-ass piano beat, and had J.COLE just being one of the best MCs that we've ever seen. J.COLE, you were Knox Hill certified. Hope you guys liked today's video. Listen, for some reason you're here at the end. Obviously, enjoy the content. Do me a huge favor. Support the channel directly. Subscribe, notifications on. It really does go a long way. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay positive. It's one Knox Hill. You know I'll catch you again.